Bishop Kakaniel, the members of the annual conference. Bishop Melvin G. Talbert was elected and consecrated as our bishop in Palo Alto in 1988. He served as our bishop for 12 years. He was a lifelong fighter for human rights. He marched numerous times with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., even sharing a jail cell with him. Bishop Talbert's work to open doors, hearts, and minds is unparalleled. To honor Bishop Talbert's work and achievement in racial harmony, our Conference Commission on Religion and Race established the Melvin G. Talbert Award for Racial Justice in 2002. Since then, our committee has been standing against racism and injustice for 19 years.
One cannot in 3 minutes begin to come close to identify all the activities that Mike Raccoon Eye Kinney, Eastern Band of Cherokee, participated in or led, which would inherently lead towards the goals of ethnic harmony, racial justice, and inclusiveness in the communities where he lived. Mike was born June 10, 1953 in Berkeley, California. Ever since high school, Mike has been active in his community church and the Native Americans. He was the founder and former chairperson of the United Urban Warrior Society chapter, California chapter in 2015. National Vice President of National United Urban Warrior Society 2019. He was a San Francisco Bay Area delegate to the Intertribal Council of California 2000. And he was a founder and chairperson of the Committee of Native Families for the Safety of Our Children in 2003. Mike is an active member of St. Luke's United Methodist Church in Richmond, California. Mike's grandparents were original members of the St. Luke's congregation when it was created in 1942. He is annually elected as the Native American liaison for the St. Luke's, as well as being in his church community outreach committee. At the conference level, Mike has been awarded with the United Methodist Certificate of Completion Basic Lay Servant in 2019. Mike wrote and introduced a resolution for Richmond Council, City Council, Richmond, California, to adopt and support the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People in 2009. Mike was founder of the Indigenous People Walk for Sobriety in Richmond since 2014 to today. And Mike's friendship with the Sikh Gurdwara temple in the Richmond lead to the members annually supporting the Indigenous People Walk for Sobriety financially by printing public flyers and feeding and serving lunch for those completing the walk each year. Mike was presented a proclamation for the Indigenous People Walk for Sobriety by the Richmond City Council. Contra Costa County Supervisor John Gioia generally welcomes the group. Mike was presented a proclamation for Indigenous People Walk for the Sobriety in Richmond. In addition, the Contra Costa Council, the Board of Supervisors, the Contra Costa Health Services, Alcohol and Other Drugs Advisory Board awarded Mike the People Who Make a Difference Award for his volunteer efforts with the initiating and maintaining the Indigenous People Walk for Sobriety in 2017. He's an historic writer and a preservationist of San Francisco Bay Area prehistoric Native American, the Shell Mound Sacred Site, 2002 to today. And Mike is an active journalist and reporter for Native Hoop magazine, the Native News Online, and the Richmond Standard, 2010 to today. Last year, Mike was invited to be a guest speaker lecturer at the 33rd Annual Native American Indian Conference at Sonoma State University in Rohnert Park, California. Also in 2019, Mike received a certificate of recognition, the California State Legislature Assembly and Assembly member Buffy Wick says in recognition of 5th Annual Indigenous People Walk for Sobriety in Richmond, California. Bishop and members of the conference, on behalf of the members of the Conference Committee of Religion and Race, it is a great honor and privilege to present Mr. Mike Raccoon Eye Kinney as this year's recipient of the Bishop Talbert Award.